Okay, I'm gonna go check on YouTube, make sure we are streaming. Yeah, looks like we are. And I'm gonna do a sound check. Just let me send a reminder that we are on. Okay, cool. So how this is gonna work is I am going to be reading the questions as they come. And also interject if there are any other questions, any questions that I have.
And the question starts from minute one, or should I present something from Convert?
Yeah, you'll present, start presenting, and then the questions as they come, I'll read the questions, and that's it. Cool. All right, I'm gonna give another maybe a minute or two for people to join in. I just sent a reminder that we are on, and so where are you based?
I'm based in Greece.
Greece. Oh, cool. Yeah. How's the COVID situation in Greece?
Oh, yeah, we are in lockdown right now. It's hard because the last 3-4 weeks we are in lockdown, but still the COVID cases are increasing. So
increasing. Yeah, with the lockdown, yeah. Yeah, it's getting worse everywhere. Like I was just looking at US, and everywhere, every state is having the issues. All right, we're gonna go live now, and people will join whenever they can. All right, hi guys, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Thursday series where we discuss different topics in digital analytics and testing, experimentation. And so today what we're going to be discussing is a big topic, which is privacy, right? It's a big topic because there are global laws, there are local laws that govern how and what data you can collect and how you can use that. And that's why we have our special guest here from convert.com, which is an A/B testing platform. Well, it's more than A/B testing, but A/B testing personalization. And I will let our guest talk about it. I'm not gonna say her name because I think I'm gonna say it wrong. So I'll let her introduce herself and discuss and tell us about her and her role as well as the company, and then dive into the presentation. Meanwhile, if you guys have any questions, make sure to post those questions on the channel here in the comment section, or as we are going through this live session, we will be reading, I will be reading those questions and answering, and she will be answering them. If you do have any clarification, or if you need any clarification, make sure to leave a comment there as well. So with that, I'll hand it over to Dionysia. Yes, maybe I said it right. Okay. All right. So it's all you. Go ahead and tell us about yourself, your company, and then anything you want to tell us about privacy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dionysia, and I'll pronounce my name perfectly. I'm based in Greece, and that's why my name is a bit difficult for most of the people around the world to pronounce my name. We are in lockdown here, so most probably some of you are also on lockdown in several countries you are in right now, but here we are in lockdown, so we are trying to do our best. I'm from Convert. Convert.com is an A/B testing experimentation platform. So what we are doing is actually set up experiences for our clients. We do offer plans for agencies and single clients. And this way we help them set up their experiments, and they can be of any type, like A/B experiments, personalization, multivariate, multi-page experiments. We are also now trying to have the full stack platform live next year. So in all these efforts, the last 2 years, I would say, we are also struggling to be very privacy focused platform, because we have seen it's an issue in the CRO domain. So we're trying to be sure that we don't collect any PII data as it's translated through GDPR, or any personal data as it's translated through California privacy law. So I'm going to start with a short presentation of our features and what we did for privacy. I'm the head of integrations and head also of privacy. So I know well this project. I know well what we've done and how we reached here and what we achieved so far. So I'm going to show you some features. I'm going to show you how we made our application privacy oriented, and also inside the team how we changed our processes and how we changed actually our mind to be more privacy focused. And then I'm open to questions. I would like that to be conversational. I don't want to take all of the time of the session. So let me share my screen now. Okay. Just a heads up that you can see my screen. That would be great.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Anil. So this is actually convert.com. This is the main page. I'm going to use a demo project here. It's set for all free trial users. And I'm going also at the end of the session to offer you a free trial with 30 days. Usually we do that for 15 days, but just for today, I'm going to offer 30 days for everyone. So this is a demo project. This is how it looks like. This is how you can set up your own project in Convert, how you can start adding experiences. And here on the left of the table, you can see the type of its experiment. So this one, it's an AA experiment. It's usually used for testing purposes, a multi-page experiment, a personalization, a split URL experiment in case you already have like the tests in your server and you just like to split the traffic. So what we did, so let me open either an experiment or a project. So let me actually go back to my projects. And then from here, let me go to the project settings just to see how we started building privacy. So what we did first is because the do not track feature is something popular in the web, in the browsers the last few months, and they are updating new versions that they would like to track this, or they don't want to track this, and visitors would like more privacy. So we added some extra features. So let me show you here. First of all, we added the privacy warnings here. There is an article that you can go and read, and it's all open for users. It's not only for our clients. So what it does, once it's enabled, it shows privacy warnings while you enable your experiments, while you enable your projects, while you enable your audiences, your goals through the platform. And it informs you that it might be like sometimes you might exit the safe side of Convert, you might exit the private side of Convert, because we say by default we don't store any personal data. But of course our clients might want to store that, so it's up to them to decide if they want or if they don't want. So in that case, they can see the privacy warnings while they are navigating through the user interface, and be sure at what point they are actually privacy and GDPR compliant and at what point they are not. One was that, so we introduced privacy warnings around the application, around the user interface. Another feature was this one, the cross-domain linking. So by default, and if you're aware of the privacy laws, they don't like the cross-domain tracking. So once a user is coming from domain A, they don't want to be identified if they cross-check to another website, to another domain. So a visitor starting from domain A and then, let's say, paying or make the actual purchase or the actual plan on domain B, this is something that privacy laws don't like. So by default, we don't allow cross-domain linking. So any site or any visitor doing this path, it's prohibited in Convert experiences. However, we do have the option for our users to allow that, because we know that e-commerce, and especially e-commerce stores that are set, do like this option and they use it heavily. So in that case, they are just going to use some cookies that are placed from domain A to domain B, and this way they can allow the cross-domain or even cross-browser tracking, but by default, it's not enabled. So that was another features that we turned on, and it was well accepted by our clients because they also want to be sure that their visitors and their clients are actually aware what they are doing, and they didn't have to actually announce to the privacy policies or to cookie banners the tracking they were doing. Another feature that we included was the data anonymization. So here, in case you enable that one, and if you send data to third-party tools, because from an A/B testing platform, you can send data to other tools, then through here, you can actually anonymize your data. So in case you are sending names or visitor IDs, then you can just anonymize that and they will be hashed into the third-party platform. So we have seen our users, they are sending a lot data to Google Analytics. And since Google Analytics is not so strict with the privacy, we didn't want to cause any issues. We didn't want to impose any violation there. So what we did on our side, since we know that Google is not going to do that, is that we anonymize the data while we send it on the fly. And this way you can send an event through Google Tag Manager or through Google Analytics, whatever version you are using, other Analytics or the new version, the 4 version that it's up. So you can just send anonymized data, then use it in Google Analytics in your reports, or even connect it to Data Studio and be safe and be sure that you don't use any personal data, any data that it's against the privacy laws around the world. Another feature, it's the do not track session. So by default, we respect what the visitors are having in their browsers. So if a visitor, and I'm sure you have seen this in this feature in all browsers. So I believe the most strict at the moment is Firefox, Mozilla Firefox. We are heavily using Google Chrome because we have a trouble a debugger there. So we are using Google Chrome. Google Chrome by default haven't set this feature on, but they are saying and they are announcing that they will do in the next year. But what we do is actually we respect if a visitor has this do not track setting on on. So if we see that a visitor is having this feature on, then we don't include them in the experiments. We don't include them in the personalizations that our clients are doing. So in that case, again, you are safe, and you can tell your customers, you can tell your website visitors that we track only those that they would like to be part of the experiments, that they would like to actually help the website to make some optimization there. That's the visible changes that we did on the user interface. Apart from that, and I know it's difficult and it's hard to navigate you through the backend changes that we made, but that's more actually important and interesting. But I cannot show you through like the interface, but I can just present that.
I have a few questions. Can you scroll down to where we started setting the things? I was waiting for these. So when you talk about privacy warnings, right? So this is what kind of privacy warnings are going to come when you are running an experiment? Will it tell you like, hey, you're giving away the private data, or you're using the private data?
So
I have questions on all of those. Yeah.
Yeah, so this one could be a warning. So for example, here, I opened my project, I'm inside a project. So here it says that cross-domain tracking is prohibited by default. However, in this project, I have turned it on because I would like to make cross-tracking. I would like to identify my visitors while going from domain A to domain B. And that's something that I know. So in that case, I see that warning. So it warns me that either you stop using that if you haven't informed your visitors, or you can continue using that. You need to update your website visitors what you are doing with cross tracking. And if you don't want anymore to see the tracking, you can also turn off the warning from the project settings. So that's the type of warnings that you will see. You will always see the article of the privacy law that is coming from. Here, for example, is Article 6 from GDPR and Recital 23 from e-privacy regulation that is also going to be live in most probably in 2 years from now. That's the type of warnings that you will see while you create experiences, goals, audiences, while you use a project and you don't use the default settings from Convert as set by Convert.
Got it. So I don't have to be fully aware of the laws. You are doing that behind the scene for me and saying, hey, based on the experiment or the data collection that you have set up, these are the kind of things that you need to watch out for, right? Or pay attention
Exactly.
to. Oh, that's great.
Exactly.
Cool. So that is actually excellent point, because a lot of us, like, people who are running these experiments and creating, have no idea. And when you try to read anything, any policies, it takes a lot of effort to understand what the meaning is. So that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Second, you meant, yeah, go ahead.
No, no, no. From what you said, like regarding the policies, it's something also something new that it's going Google App Store and the iOS App Store going to promote next year. All the apps and all the extensions in those in the public and official stores, they need to have something easily identified by the readers. They don't have to go through the policies, as you said, because they are long, they are not understandable. Usually, they are using legal terminology.
Language,
So
yeah.
yeah, so you don't understand exactly what they mean. So what they push us, and since we have an extension in Google Chrome and it's our debugger for Convert, what they push us is actually to put easy labels, easily accessible labels from visitors, from readers, that they can
Mhm.
understand exactly what is collected, what is being transferred to another country, to another data center. So by just seeing the label, it will be very easily understandable what an extension or what an application is doing. So that's something that is coming. Like for iOS app, it went live mid-December, I think 13 December. For Google Chrome extensions, it will come live 18th of January next year. So
Mhm.
you will be able easily to see all these articles and all these labels, and you don't have to go through privacy policies and terms of use and all these long articles.
Got it. Cool. So now tell me about this cross-domain tracking, right? And you mentioned this. Most of the businesses have a shopping cart that's on a third-party domain, or at some point they are sending to third-party domain, and it's against the GDPR rules, right? But
Exactly. Mhm.
but you can still do that as long as you mention them on the site. Is that the way, or let users know when they are
Exactly.
moving to that domain, or just upfront in, like, somewhere in privacy policies, which nobody reads?
Actually, you have to announce that in two places because GDPR, okay, it says you need to update the privacy policy and you need to update that for official reasons. And in case something happens or if you go to the court, yeah, the privacy policy will save you. But then for the actual use, in the reality, what you need to do is to actually place a cookie banner and a cookie policy. So the cookie policy is shorter. You
Mhm.
mention exactly what cookies you are using, how these cookies are flowing from one domain to the other. So this is something that every company should have. I haven't seen that. It's not very popular because the cookie policy is not actually coming through e-privacy. It's the regulation that handles all the cookies. The GDPR by itself, it doesn't handle cookies. It handles privacy in a more generic way. So in that case, yeah, they didn't touch cookies at all because they knew that e-privacy will come in the next 1-2 years. So, but because we would like to be one step ahead on that, we did that. We did a cookie policy. So we explain exactly what cookies we're using. We actually have 3 different cookies for Convert. One is for sessions, one is for the visitor itself, and one is for the whole like tracking code that we are using. And we explain exactly what it's of these cookies can do, how you can use them, how you can actually transfer values from these cookies to other domains, how you can pass and how you can identify the visitor from one domain to the other while you're doing cross-domain tracking. But yeah, all of that, if you don't use the default settings from Convert, then yes, it needs to be announced on a website, on the website to your visitors. Otherwise, they might, yeah, it's not like so easy to catch like a website or to find a website that does this violation, but you never know when this will happen. It might be in the future that there is an automated tracker that it will tell immediately that, okay, this website is doing cross-domain tracking, so you need to stop it or you need actually to update it. So at the moment, it's a manual task. I don't think anyone will catch any of these sites, but yeah, we need to be
Cool.
cautious.
Okay, that's wonderful. Um, Along those lines, when you mentioned about the cookies, right? So let's say if a user does not accept a cookie,
Mhm,
and I'm running an experiment on 100% of my traffic,
mhm.
does that mean people who have opted out of the cookies will not be part of the experimentation?
Exactly.
Is
They will
that
not be part. Yeah, exactly. And
okay?
that's
Is there
why.
anything yeah,
Mhm. And that's why we
go
have a
ahead.
lot. Sometimes we have difference with Google Analytics or any other analytics tool, so Adobe Analytics or any
Mhm.
other software. So they are coming to us, our clients, and they say, "Look, I have a difference between Convert and Google reports. Why is that?" And we are telling them that Google is not so strict yet. Of course they will become, but yet they are not so strict with how many users they are calculating in the report. So of course they have more accurate algorithms to exclude bot traffic and stuff like that, but regarding privacy, they don't do that anymore. They don't respect the do not track from the visitor itself. So in that cases, yeah, of course we will have fewer visitors in the reports, and we can explain that to the visitor, and we can actually not so, but digging into the logs, we can actually explain that to our clients. But yes, if you have it 100% and some visitors have this option on, then they will not be included in the reports. You will just have less visitors, and of course you will need more time to decide and to see a winner in an A/B testing experiment.
Yeah. And in your opinion or experience, what percentage of people are not opting into cookies?
At the moment, it's very few. I would say 5%, 7%.
Yeah.
It's not so much, but in the near future, most of the browsers will have this feature on. So I'm assuming this will be up to 20, 30%. And if you have it by default, then most of us, we don't know that this is happening in not in the backend, but in parallel. So we are not going to enable that. So we need actually to force visitors or to promote that to visitors. Okay, look, you have this option. Do you want to be part? Then maybe with some promotion or some gifts, or I don't know how each company will handle that.
Yeah.
We'll have to actually pass it to their visitors.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's go back to the settings. I want to see a few more, see if there are anything else that I need to ask or that pops
Okay,
up.
sure. Let me go back to the settings, the project settings. Okay.
Yeah. Project settings. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Scroll down. So you can block at the IP level. You can say we don't want this IP to be part of this experimentation, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
There is also the opt-out link in case they would like, if you would like to be, even if while you are doing your test, if you would like to, because again, it's a requirement from the privacy laws to somewhere publicly put an opt-out link. So if a visitor knows about you, knows about like convert.com, and they would like to be opted out, then they just can use this opt-out link. So this again is a requirement from GDPR. You have to have it somewhere publicly. We have it here in the project settings because it's easier. We also have it in our privacy policy. But yeah, we thought it's easy, it's more accessible through here.
So this is where people can say, I don't want to be part of experiment.
Exactly. So if
Right.
you see here, let's say I'm going to website.com. If you use the this one question mark convert opt out equals 1, then you are excluded from every experiment. Again, you can reset that experiment because let's say after a month or you have rethought about that. So you can also cancel the opt out link with another parameter in the URL.
Cool. And that brings up another point. And people who are listening, maybe this is a question they are wondering as well. Uh, if you are running an experiment, and in this case, you're saying they can opt out of convert, do you have to tell users, which I haven't seen ever, unless that's hidden in somewhere in GDPR, that, hey, you are part of an experiment?
Yes, actually we do. Actually, we do have
Okay.
this. Yes. So I can show you in like once I'm exiting the user interface. If you go to us to convert.com, we have added one function on the keyboard. So once you press one parameter on the keyboard, you can see actually in how many experiments you are part of, in how many personalizations, in how many A/B
Oh,
test
wow.
experiments. Yes, so it's something that not many of our clients have used. I don't know why, but once we built that function, and it was 1.5 years back, so we wrote the blog article, we promoted that a lot, but it seems that it's not used. I don't know, maybe people, they are not still aware of what is happening with A/B testing or with experimentation. But yes, we are using it even for us, for the personalization that we said, for the A/B experiment we said. Sometimes we need to know in which experiments we are part of, so we use it a lot heavily internally. But I haven't received any requests from our users regarding that. But yes, we do notify visitors.
Oh,
It
that's
just, they need to type or something on the keyboard. It's not by default popping up while
sure.
they are navigating the website.
Okay, cool. And this is like the end users, right? So if I go
Yes,
to
the
a
end
site
user.
that's running Convert, and if
Exactly.
I know how to look for it, I can look for it.
Exactly.
And is the idea like making this available to every user so that they know, hey, you are part of an experiment, click here if you want to opt out, which will increase
The,
the opt-outs though, because people will freak
actually,
out as soon as they know, hey, I'm part of an experiment.
It depends because, yeah, as I mentioned, it's not used a lot, and I believe like people are somehow like divided. So there are those people that they really like experimentation, they really like to help companies become better and be more personalized. They have seen those usually visitors and users are mainly based in the US, so they are more. Let's say used to that, they are more used to the personalizations. People in Europe, they are more afraid of this. They have stricter rules of privacy, they have stricter rules of what their personal data will be. They don't like so much to share the data. So I have seen such a difference between even for us as a team. I have seen that we do have like differences. I'm based, for example, in Europe, and I'm very, very strict in privacy, and most probably that's why they selected me from the team to handle privacy. We do have US converters that they are more relaxed. They say, okay, this is acceptable in US states. We are not afraid of this. But yeah, I'm coming from a country that it's very strict on the privacy. So I'm trying for the best here.
Okay. And also, is there any plan? Maybe you don't know, or is it's already there? Any plan to tell what kind of data is being used for them to be put in this experiment or for analysis of this experiment? Hey, it's web browsing behavior, or are we using your shopping cart stuff? Whatever that is that clear to the users, or is that something part of the policies? Maybe at a global level or just some local level that you are aware of where you have to
Mhm.
make this clear?
I will speak only for Convert because I don't know what other A/B testing platforms are
Sure.
doing. So in our case, what we did in order not to identify any visitor at all, we don't want to identify any visitor. So what we did in the backend, and that was the changes that I was going to talk after the user interface changes, is that we anonymized and we grouped visitors together. So we, let's say, collect data every 50 visitor IDs. So we collect them together, we group them together. So we don't know exactly, we cannot identify any visitor ID. So in our case, we just collect groups of visitor IDs, we analyze them, and then the information that we collect is usually IPs and usually web browsing information, just to see like a location and very generic stuff, but it's on groups, it's not on
Hmm.
on specific visitors. So in no case we can identify any visitor at all. So that's the first actually point that our development team wanted to do, just to be safe. And no one can ask us about like, hey, I have this visitor ID from X country using that IP. We don't know. We cannot actually decouple this information and go back to the visitor itself. So for us, it's a no. We don't have this. And yeah, I don't know how it's handled elsewhere. I believe they haven't anonymized everywhere the IDs. So in case they collect data, maybe they keep it for X period of time, and
Hmm.
then most probably after once it's
Yeah.
not used, then they can just remove it.
Cool. All right. Let's take a look at the other settings down. Can you scroll down?
Yes. Let me go down.
All right. So cross domain, we discussed that, privacy warnings and data anonymization. All right, cool. That's good. No more questions. Let's continue.
Okay.
I'm not seeing any questions here from audience. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions or want any clarification, then please do type your questions here.
Thanks, Anili. Okay, so let's go back now to the backend changes that we made. One and most important was, as I said, the anonymization of visitor IDs. What else we did is actually we reduced the cookie lifetime. As you remember in the past, all the cookies had a period and duration of 2 years, and that actually changed for all the big brands like Facebook, Google, Amazon, everyone has changed that. And even now, it's like the duration is very, very long. Even now, I'm seeing companies and brands that they are using duration of cookies up to 6 months, which is not sometimes acceptable. So what we did is in our cookies, like the ones that have to do with the visitor, we keep it actually for 3 months, just to be sure that the visitor, in case it comes back, they can find the same experiment and they don't have to be again part of the experiment and the personalizations that the website is running. But anything else, the session and any other cookie is banned to 7 days. And this is actually what is happening also with most of the browsers. They said that they are going to ban all the cookies after 7 days, so you will not be able to identify again the same visitor. So in our case, we use that, we respected that. We do have this cookie lifetime reduction, and we proposed some fixes in case like our visitors would like to continue using that on the server side level. So we are doing client-side A/B testing. So it's on a browser level, but if someone would like to do server-side testing, then it's up to them to decide how long they will keep the cookies, how what they can do with that. As I said before, if they would like to use it in cross-domain. Another change that we did, and this is actually also prohibited in privacy laws, the third-party cookies. Of course, we're only using first-party cookies, so all the third-party cookies are removed. And again, through the browsers, you will see that there are features now that you can enable. You can put it on, and then you can just see. Actually, you will see which websites are banned, which websites are prohibited, just because they are using third-party tools. So in our case, we don't have this problem. We were only using first-party cookies. And in case of cross-domain tracking, then this is up to the client, as I said, up to the user to decide what they would like to do. Then what else we have? We do capture revenue since we are working with e-commerce stores. Most of them, they would also like to capture revenue. So in that case, the revenue itself had some IDs inside. So just to see like how accurate we were and how privacy focused we were, we also removed IDs from the revenue tracking itself. So we didn't want to deal with any purchase or any made on a store itself. We would like just to deal with group of purchases. So in that case, we remove the IDs, so we cannot identify any purchase. We can only see that the total amount in the end. We cannot see specific purchases made from specific visitor IDs. And in that case, even our revenue tracking is very privacy oriented. Then the GDPR warnings that I said also that's also something important. If I log out and log in again, I don't know if we still have this message, but I believe we do. Yes, you will see here that we put a message, and of course we change all our backend infrastructure, but we are using European servers, so we changed actually our data centers to be in Europe based and not in US anymore, because Europe was more strict on that. So once GDPR became live, we would like to have all our user information in a data center saved in Europe. So in that case, for the login and all the data storage, we are using European carbon neutral servers. That was a big change. I think that's mainly like the application changes, then of course we have the legal stuff, as you said, the privacy policy change, the terms of use they have changed to describe like what is happening with the privacy shield, what is happening with the laws around the world. And it's not only GDPR and the California, the CCPA law, it's also the LGBT from Brazil. It's also other laws, other states from US, they have passed their own regulations. So we are also respecting that. Of course, the most strict is the GDPR, and also the stricter one on cookies and CRO specifically will be the e-privacy that is coming into force the next years. So that will affect the CRO a lot and all the cookies.
So what's the highlights? What are the highlights of e-privacy? Anything in particular that you want to mention?
It's all these things that we hear about the cookies and what you can do with the cookies. But right now, under GDPR, we can actually skip it, or let's say escape it, if you are using a legitimate impact assessment. So in any case, if you can explain to the, let's say, to the GDPR authority that you are doing something because you have legitimate interest, because it's legitimate to do that. So let's say I'm promoting something to my clients because I know they would like to hear of it, and I have legitimate interest to do that. So that's okay. In the e-privacy, this will not happen. So it will be even stricter. You need to define exactly what you are doing. You need to define exactly what your users, users you have in your CRM. So I'm sure every company is having a CRM or a kind of CRM that they are keeping user data. So in that case, you need always to be sure what you are keeping there. Always to remove people that they are not interested anymore to hear from you or to receive any emails from you. We are very strict on who we are sending the emails to. Mm-hmm. We are every month, from the moment that these laws came into force, every month we are checking our databases, and we are making different lists. So we are making lists. Those are the people that they would like to hear from the newsletter, from the webinars, from the forms that we are putting online, from the educational courses that we are putting online. Those are the people that have excluded and have opted out. So they are removed completely from our CRM and so on. So we have different grades and different consent, let's say, options from the visitors. Mm-hmm. And this way we make it really easy also for our marketing team to send out the email campaigns. So the email campaigns now are all automated. So we don't need to go through the emails and see, oh, this person has consented or not. So we are setting just email campaigns to the list that they have consented, and that's it.
Okay, cool. And those should be part of all the tools. I'm assuming as tools will catch up with the privacy policies, most of the users or the listeners don't have to worry about a bunch of stuff. That's, as we're seeing in Convert's case, you don't have to worry about those things. They are part of the tool itself, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah. I just wanted to call that out. I think the biggest issue that I'm seeing more and more is the Google Analytics, right? The tracking is on, and people have to put the cookie consent or whatever policies they want users to opt in. And then the burden is on the person implementing the solution or the team using it to say, hey, we're not going to track these. Google is not doing that automatically. But eventually, as you mentioned earlier, they might catch up and start to do that, because this will be part of every site, every app.
Exactly. It will be actually forced by the law. Yeah, they will be forced by the law. Right now, they don't do it. They do it, but not so strict, but they will be forced to do it in the end.
Yeah. And I think it'll be good for them, because I am seeing, like, every day I come across people are like, hey, we can pop this cookie banner and people can opt out. But then after that, Google Analytics is still tracking. Now I need to code it in a way so that it's not tracking without losing all the visibility about the usage. So you want to track anonymously without cookie. How do you do that? All that stuff comes up in the conversation every day. So cool. Actually, so what else do we have? Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that maybe it's better, like, to actually promote that we are doing some tracking, but we are doing the most limited tracking that we are allowed to, just to collect some information for improvements and optimization. And I believe like website visitors will be more acceptable on that, rather than just saying we trying to hide or we're trying to anonymously take that information. So it's better, and that's why we took this approach and we took this path. We said, let's be open and let's be transparent to our clients. We are doing this and this tracking, and this is what you should be expecting from Convert, rather than trying to find hacks and trying to find fixes on how to escape.
Yep. Cool.
So that's all about privacy in convert.com and how we handle it in our team and how we handle it for our application. I don't know if you have any questions regarding the privacy laws. Like California is already up. There are other 3 states that also have passed regulations. Brazil also passed their own law. There are also laws in Africa and other continents that they are not so well known, but we are aware of it, and we are promoting that, and we are putting our public statements and commitments that we are private. Yeah, I don't know.
So I have a question on that. So let's say if somebody is sitting in India, right? They are running their e-commerce store using Shopify or whatever. And do they have to worry, or even Shopify may be the wrong example because Shopify might create those privacy policies in there. But let's say if they have their own e-commerce system built and they get users from around the world, not that they're promoting in Europe or promoting in Africa or California, but they are getting the users. How worried should they be about those policies?
Yeah, they should. They should, because
should.
the laws, because the laws are strict, and they say that if you would like not to be part of the law, if you would like not to go by the law, then you need actually to ban users from countries that actually have the law. So let's say in India, yes. So what I have seen, sometimes what I'm seeing with some of our users is that they say to us, please test this experience on my site. And I'm entering, let's say, from Europe, and sometimes I cannot access their website, and I'm asking why. And they say, oh, because we banned the site and you cannot access it from X country. So if it's a US website, because they don't want to respect GDPR in Europe, they say, I'm not accepting European visitors in my site. So we do have some issues in that. Of course, like for troubleshooting, we're using VPNs, virtual private networks, and we can access it from another country. But me, especially that I'm based in Europe, I mostly have issues accessing websites while I'm troubleshooting, because most of them, they selected not to accept European visitors instead of just go by the law.
So that works for a bigger company, right? Bigger companies have the resources to do that. And if it's a smaller player, let's say if I'm running a small store for hobby, right? Hey, I just sell data analytics t-shirts, right? And I'm not expecting, I don't have resources to go and say, let's make these, block somebody from Europe, because I do not know what those policies really well. I don't have a legal team to vet that out and put these things. And I do not know even how to block from their servers, because I just don't have the resources. Is in that scenario, what are some smaller, websites owners supposed to do?
No, in that case, you can actually either use one of the A/B testing platforms, because with an A/B testing platform, you can actually run your website and say, okay, look, I have this URL, this website, and I would like only to serve it to that audience. So actually, you can say, I would like to run this site, this page, only to people coming from these countries. And that's it. You leave it running. You don't have to have a development team. You don't have to have a legal team on that. You don't have to have a marketing team. You just set a personalization through an A/B testing platform, through Convert, let's say.
So
And
100% of the visitors go through that and you're using.
exactly.
So that's an excellent use of an A/B testing or personalization platform, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool.
So, and it's super accurate because you do have two ways to track visitors. So one, it's of course by IP, but since IPs are, as I said, the people can use VPNs, you can just mix them up, mix the visitors, and you don't know from which country they're coming. But we are also providing the geo-targeting solution. So it's coming through HTML5. This is more accurate because the IP targeting is on the database that we're using, the geo database that we're using. It says that on a city targeting IP, it has an accuracy of up to 89%, but the geo targeting is 100%. So you know exactly this visitor is coming from this location. So I don't want to be part of my site because I don't want to like to break the law.
Cool. All right. No more questions. What else? Do you have anything else to show, discuss, or we get into the tool?
I think that's it from my side regarding privacy, regarding what you can do in A/B testing, what you can do with your experiments, with how you are collecting data. There are platforms out there that you can use. We are one of them, and we are very, very respectful on the laws. We do also have a legal team behind. I'm not just the only person working on that. I was the front person reading all these long articles of the different laws. But yeah, we do also have a legal team behind. I would like also to give like a free trial for everyone that is hearing us today, listening to us today, and would like to try Convert. It's for 30 days, and you can use all the features from Convert. So you can, it's full-time access, and it's not requiring a credit card to be entered. So you just go there for 30 days, set up your experiments, your personalizations. You can even use our support center, live chat, or the chat, the email, or phone support. Be there, set your personalizations, try that, say how you can set a personalization for X country or for X audience or for a limited period, and see how your website is actually doing, what you can achieve, how you can optimize. And if you like it, after the 30 days, of course, you can either buy a plan or you can decide that, okay, it's not for me right now, but once I'm more mature, a more mature company, I can try it again.
Yeah, cool. So is there a link that I can give it to people here? Can you paste it in the chat?
Yes, so let me stop my setting so I can be able to find it. My team was very good on that, and they prepared one link for you. It's on the chat. You can use that one, and it will be for 30 days.
Okay. Cool. I am going to put this in the conversation here so you guys can go ahead and sign up. There will be a lot of people who like to do the replays as well. So is there a time limit on when this 30-day trial version will end?
No,
I want to
from
make
the
sure
time
that's clear.
No, from the time
No.
they sign up. Yeah.
Okay. So even if a person is watching this tomorrow or day after, they can still sign up. They have to go through
Exactly.
this link. So keep in mind, you can use this URL, go sign up. You'll get 30-day trial. Try it out for the privacy side of things. You know, you don't have to do an A/B test experiment. You can just make it live, personalized to everybody. See how those privacy things work for you. Compare the numbers between Convert and Google Analytics. See what percentage of people are not coming in through this by opting out. So take a look at that, right? Cool. Any other things, any questions? I'm not seeing any questions. I think you covered a lot of good stuff here, which is very useful for me personally. I've been doing this, but good to know, like, hey, companies like yours are putting the controls in place and we don't have to worry about reading everything. Hey, what is this law? What is that law? And it's really, frankly, hard to keep track of everything that's going on unless you have a fully dedicated legal team looking at every single law that's out there.
It's
And
true.
so it's
Yeah,
good
it's
to
true.
have you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
And is
it's
there
true.
any, yeah, go ahead.
No, it's true that there are a lot of new things coming. There are a lot of new laws coming. So yeah, be aware, be prepared that we also have a blog where we announce every of course, not only privacy topic, but I'm very responsible there to write anything that comes live, any feature that I'm seeing in any tool, because I'm also working with integrations. So anything for Shopify, for Google Analytics, for any other tool that is out there, anything that I'm seeing that it's also relating to privacy, it's out in our blog.
Okay, yeah, that was my question. Is like, where can we find that information? So if you can drop a link to the blog, that'll be helpful as well. And yeah, Kevin, you cannot find the link. I just pasted the link. Let me know if you still can't see it. I will also be emailing that link out in our the email that'll go, the recap email that goes out. So with the link to this replay as well as this link, so you can go ahead and sign up for your 30-day trial. I just pasted it above your comment, so make sure you get it. All right, I'm gonna also post the link to Convert's blog if you want to learn about what Convert is doing, as well as all about privacy policies or what new privacy laws are there. So go ahead and pay attention to that as well. I think that wraps up what we have today. There are no more questions. If you guys do have any questions, and those who are watching the replay, we get people watching replay throughout the day. So as they're watching, make sure to leave comments, and we will review those comments, and I'll make sure she receives all those comments and answers them. So
yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions, even if when you sign up on the link that Anil shared, I make sure that maybe you mention also the code, and I will be there. I can also catch up with the support team and be there and help you with what I presented today.
cool. Thank you, Dhanushya. I
Thank
think
you,
I said it
Anil.
right
Thank you,
again. Maybe
everyone.
messed it up.
No, it's
All
okay.
right.
Fine.
Yeah.